Morning. We're back on the combine this morning, and remember me complaining about it being hot? It is 45 degrees this morning. Beautiful morning. Absolutely love it. So thankful for the cool off. Makes it easier to enjoy your coffee. Anyway, like I was saying, we're back on the combine. We're going to button up some things on the corn head this morning and hopefully get the combine itself buttoned up service-wise so we can excuse me, so we can get to putting that auger and the bubble up tube in. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to start that. I don't know if we'll get to it this week because today is Thursday. Yes, today is Thursday. I've got to button this up, button the combine up, and then we received news that we get to run our old bean heads for another year. It's a bummer, but you know what? I have faith in them. I've been working on those heads for several years and they're in pretty good shape. So what we're gonna do with the corn head is these, I'll get you around here. This sprocket right here gets changed. I have new ones. These are the new style, and we're taking the old ones off, putting the new ones on. The old ones are stamped steel riveted design. All right, now I'm gonna put my coffee down so I can have a hand. Okay, so this is an old one. You can see how it's two pieces and they're riveted together. They're riveted together right here, and sometimes those get ripped apart and then your chain goes through the combine and everybody has a bad day. So these new ones are one solid piece of steel, just an all-around better design, and it puts a fresh bearing on the front of the combine. So that's why we're changing them. The old ones are original to the corn head. That makes them at least 6 years old, maybe more. I think it's time to retire them. Okay, so corn head is pretty much buttoned up. We are going to move on to just a general inspection of the combine. I'm going to take these white panels out, and that is going to give me access to the rotor cage on the inside. And so these literally just, see if I can find a spot to drop this without dropping it. There we go. Those literally just lift out. And we'll set them aside. There we go. All right, there's the rotor cage. This is where all of the thrashing happens. The threshing, I should say, not an A, E. What I want to see if I can put it in neutral here. What I want to see is inside here, this foot is that rasp bar I was telling you about. And they look like they've got pretty good wear. The ones in the front are going to be more worn than the ones in the back. So we'll just encourage it to keep turning, and we'll look for any missing pieces. I don't think we're going to have any though. We generally don't lose rasp bars. And we have an extra one or two or three somewhere in our service truck when we're in the field. Yeah, it looks all right. But you can see if I get a good shot of a front one. I don't know if you can see it, but the bolt in the middle is supposed to have numbers and letters and whatever else on top of it, on the top. And if you come to the back, let me get my flashlight. You get these back ones. That one is original to the combine, and it still has, like, it's even got rust on it, surface rust. But the bolt still has all the printing, and that just shows where the majority of the wear on the rotor comes from. Is the front always gets all the material, and ideally the back won't get much at all, because all of the threshing will happen in the first 2 or 3 stages of the rotor cage. So it falls down and then goes through the sieves. So, oh, my step is making noises and it's driving me nuts. Let me see. There we go. Those are the sieves. Those shake back and forth like that, and that shakes the grain, in our case corn or soybeans, goes through the holes, the gaps. I can find a good spot for this. Actually, you know what, I just got a new flashlight and it's got a hat bill clip on it, so we're gonna try that. Give me a second here. Look like a total dweeb, but it'll point the light where I'm looking. All right, aha. Oh, except for the camera. All right, so in here, these gaps is where all the grain falls through, and it's basically an adjustable screen. As it shakes, the trash and stuff will bounce along, and it'll keep going. And then the corn or the soybeans, whatever you're harvesting, and wheat or whatever, the concept is the same for all combines, will go through and fall down into the augers underneath and get taken up into the grain tank. So this one is the pre-cleaner. It's mostly closed. It's basically to get an initial start on the separating stage. And it takes some of the load off of the primary sieve back there, which you see is a lot more open. There is a lot of grain that goes through this while this machine is running at any given moment. You know, when we're doing corn, we can be moving, excuse me, we can be moving 4,000, 4,500 bushels an hour with our 8-row corn head. And so all those bushels, in some perspective, that's 4.5 semis an hour. That's a lot of grain to go through there. So they've got to be nice and wide and clean and in good condition. And I don't see any damage, which is good because I don't like sieve damage. Shut my, oh no, that's my new light too. It survived. All right. Well, that was adventuresome. All right, spreader is up. I'm gonna stick our head in here and look at the back part of the sieves. There's some, you can see right here in this neck of the woods, right there, there's some flattened sieve teeth, but they bend up pretty easily. There's some more over there, but that up there is the chopper. And that thing, I tell you what, that is not where you want to be when this machine is running, because that spins around this way, this way, really, really fast. It chops up all the corn stalks and the bean stubble and the whatever else we have going through it. Looks like this is probably our last year on those chopper knives. We'll see. We flipped them last year, and they go quite a while, but we'll see how that goes. And then this rack underneath right there is the fine cut knife, and when we're running soybeans, we can actually put that up into the chopper and it cuts it even finer. And I don't see any bolts missing or broken teeth on that one. Last year we had several of those that were missing bolts, so that was a bummer. But overall, I think we're in pretty good shape. So we'll get back out of here and continue on about our merry way. All right, so continuing on about our little explanation about how the combines work, which is kind of where this has turned into. So corn goes in through here, stalks get pulled through, the ears go this way through the feeder house, and then they go up like this into the rotor, spinning around and around and around and around and around really fast, beats all the kernels off the stalk, off the cob, and the cob keeps going up and out through the chopper, which we just saw, and then the kernels fall down through the cage onto that shaker pan that's going like that, and that walks the corn kernels. We're using corn as an example right now because it's easy, out onto the sieves, and then the sieves are shaking, and it's shaking all the kernels, which is heavier than the stalks, down to the bottom, and then they fall through the sieves, while the stalks and the leaves stay on top of the sieves and walk out the back through the spreader. So the spreader is this doojobby right here. These are spinning, and they're just flinging and evenly distributing the trash out the back. That comes off the back of the sieves and out of the chopper. So the corn kernels that have fallen through the sieves, which are in here, you recognize those panels. The sieves that are in here, they fall down, and underneath there are what we call cross augers that pull all the grain to this side to this. That is the clean grain elevator. So all the corn or beans or whatever, in this case corn, comes over here, and that takes it all the way up to the grain tank, which is right there, those two open doors. Those doors would be closed, otherwise it would be useless. So then that clean grain elevator dumps the corn in there, and from there it goes out the auger into the trucks and on to a bigger and better life somewhere. So rough flow, excuse me, rough flow of how corn actually goes through a combine. We have to get all the machines out, including the combine, set the corn head down. We'll take the pickup, pull this head out, pick it up off the cart with the combine, set it on the ground outside, back the combine in here sideways, this way, pick this head up, back the empty cart back in underneath that head, set that head on the cart, take it back out, pick that head off the cart, set it in a different spot on the ground, pick up the other head, this one right here, put it back on the cart, back it back in with the combine, pick it up off the cart, pull the cart out, and then set that head on the ground right there in its place. And then back outside to pick up the other bean head and that one. Ultimately, that one will end up on the combine and that one will end up right there. Got it? Good. All right, so we have the bean head out. This one, we've already been through all the oils. Carter gave it a wash, changed the roller chain in here. Oops, that's all new. The old one was pretty nasty. We actually got a little shot of rain. Been nice to have more so I could go home, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So project now is we're going to take the sickle out, which means I got to take these off. This whole panel comes off, then these bolts come out, and this lifts off but after you take a bunch of little bolts off. Same on that side, and then that sickle goes that way, and this sickle goes that way. You can hear Carter rebuilding the other one in the background. But we'll get this one off in the shed so he can rebuild this one too. And then this head is pretty much done other than test running. Sickles are out. You can see I have something in my eye. Sickle knife is gone. And now we'll just go down the line and inspect the guards and the rest of the cutter bar and make sure there isn't anything that's excessively worn out or sharp, or sharp in the wrong place, I should say. But yeah, that's the gist of that. This head has such a menagerie of different hardware pieces. It's a bit of a circus sometimes. We'll get her done. This one looks in pretty good shape. We fixed this one up and then set it down in the building ready for season as a backup head. So there's not a lot that needs to be done, but those sickles will get freshened up anyway.